Oh, this is so much cleaner, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we weren't able to do this before, but
They didn't have it on Chrome yet, so I was able to just test it just to see if it was there, because normally you have to do all kinds of crazy stuff. But this is cool. Hi, everyone.
hello, everybody.
How's everybody doing? Don't come on.
Say hi, answer a few questions.
Let you know we're still here. We're pretty booked, so we had a free moment to come on and say hello, let everybody know, hey y'all, hey, how y'all doing? So, anybody got any questions off the bat? Anybody want to talk about anything in particular?
Let's answer some questions.
Okay. Cool
if there is any. I mean, we've got a whole book of them. But
yeah.
I'm looking for this on YouTube so I can.
It's kind of cool because it's allowing me to see this much clear. It's easier to see it here than it is on the phone or the iPad. So if you have some questions, post them up there. We've been working. We've got classes we're doing for certification, root camps. We've got a ton of stuff we're doing. So don't think we forgot about you guys. We know you've been feeling for some busy. Lee and Sherry, or maybe you're not.
While we're waiting on a question, we now have payment plans for the coaching certification program, which is new. So if you're interested in the coaching certification program and a payment plan, give us an email at info@relationshipreinvented.com. What's the question?
When y'all made it final, did Sherry initially still try to make contact? If so, how long? Yeah, I broke it off. I made it final. She kept sending letters. Because you remember that was...
Yeah.
And I was getting angry and angrier with each letter. And then I think after you got out and you stopped for a period of time, but then I don't know. What was that like for you?
When I got home, I don't think I did, right? I don't think I didn't have any contact with you much.
No.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, yeah, no, I quit. When I got home, the circumstances were that I stopped reaching out. At that point in time, I had he had made it final, and I could tell that it was final, and I succumbed to the expectations of you just coming back around. I let that go. And I accepted the fact that we were never going to be together and allowed myself to move on.
I think because I never, when we talked about making it final, I don't think I really walked through the stages of that. It's when you make it final, you find that you're connected to the person you're connected to, but you're more connected to your anger.
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense.
It does.
You become like, it's like you see the clear choice. I'm in this connection, but I'm going to be connected to the anger side of it. And the anger side of it was an internal dialogue of just raw hurt.
Right.
And it's hard not to be in your head. It's hard not to be connected to that space in your head that you feel like the inflicting hurt is coming from the other person, but it's really kind of coming from you.
Right.
We hope that makes sense. But as far as the contact, it was intermittent, and it was like a 6 to 7 month span, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Hello, my beautiful coaches. Love you. Thank you. Hi. Oh my God, the universe listens. I just found you guys a few days ago. Have been binge watching. You two are amazing. If you've watched our journey, does that look amazing? I'm sorry. I think
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching. I think most of my questions can be answered through the videos, but I'm seem to be stuck. Let's talk about what stuck is.
Okay.
Because I think we have a really good way of explaining stuck. You have a brilliant way of being stuck, or explaining what the experience of stuck means. It's the thinking that you can't move. It's almost like thinking like, I don't know which direction to go in. You know that you have options there, but all the options look like they're not the options you want. They're not the options you would choose. Then you don't. It's almost like if you have an option over here that says surrender, you have an option over here that says fight or flight. You have an option over here that says, you know what I mean? That says it's not going to happen. Or, you know, your expectations will not be met. There's a whole bunch of those in front of you, and you're looking at all of them, and you can't move. You can't move. You can't decide which one that you need to do. And it seems to be that those are the only thought patterns that are showing up, because you don't know that what you need to do is outside of thinking, not in it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It made sense to me. I don't know if it made sense to them.
Can you unleafy it, I guess?
Well, I know there's not much unleafying. It just is at a crossroads.
Crossroads.
Where you're at a stop sign.
Yeah.
And you don't know if you're going straight or right or left, or if you're just going to back it off.
Or that you can create a new road.
Right.
You don't even see that option.
Go through the cornfield. It's fine.
How do I clear, heal chakras? I'm stuck.
Well, that's interesting. And we don't really do a whole lot of the mystical stuff. However, I am doing a beginner shock. I'm just finished up one series, about to do another one. Beginner chakras for beginners. So you know a lot about your chakra system. You can email me if you want to get in on that series. I'm only taking like 4 or 5, so it can be a more intimate group. But I'm going to teach you all about your chakra system and the very basics. And but as for clearing in the very beginning, I would suggest meditation. There's all kinds of mystical stuff, rocks and crystals, and clearing. We have a coach who does great clearings. And if you're interested in that clearing, just email us at info@relationshipreinvented.com. We will send you her contact information. And if you're interested in my chakra class, email me and we'll get you set up.
Yes. And also you can join our groups on Facebook. I think Relationship Reinvented Org, the support group for Twin Flames is on there as well.
Yeah, Twin Flames. What the hell is our group called? Shouldn't I know this?
Yeah, you probably should.
Twin Flame Work Group
By Relationship
Reinvented. Yes.
A lot of our coaches are in there. A lot of our coaches can help you through the chakras and those kinds of things. We really love our coaches. Our coaches can do a phenomenal, amazing job as far as helping you see some things that really aren't as clear as they should be. Let's see. My twin is going through his awakening, and I've already been on this journey for a while, and I feel like I have to wait for him to catch up. How do I stay away from? Let me help you see something. If your step in the journey seems to be further, then you're not in sync with what further is trying to point to. It's pointing to time, and time is an illusion in this connection. So in the awakening process, you need to get to the space where you realize that time is the illusion, and it's really, he could wake up like immediately the moment you let go of time. Because there's a different understanding of what path somebody has to take to come into awakening. And there's so many variables to that equation, and there's so many billions of different ways that somebody wakes up. And if you're, well, how do I catch up? It's not really catch up, it's catch in. So you need to realize that this is not an up or down experience. This is an inward process. And without allowing the space, because we think we're, when Sherry and I were going through it, I think there was a lot of your slow learning. But it pointed to speed, it pointed to time. And she's right. It was a long process, but as soon as she let go of that, it was like instantaneous. It was almost like all of that energy hit me at once. So sometimes we limit the other person in this connection through energy without even knowing that we're doing that with energy. And we kind of point to the illusion of time as the one that does it. And it's funny because we've had people, well, with twins, they really don't know about this connection, or they don't understand what's really going on. And, and it's like, well, how do you know? Well, I can just tell by the behavior. Well, that's your behavioral specialist in you, not them. And then as soon as they start to realize, well, am I really catching that right? Maybe I should ask. And then all of a sudden they hear, you're not going to believe this. My twin's awake. Well, awakening is not a matter of how you observe it. It's a matter of how they observe it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we just don't ask the question to find out the truth of what somebody's actually really going through. Boy, everybody's calling.
We forgot to turn the bells and whistles.
Yes, we're online. I know you just called me. Okay. So try not to be caught up. Try to be present and staying away from the thoughts that try to take you away from that. Okay. Let's see. How do I stay away from being a spiritual narcissist?
That was part of that question.
Okay. So what is a spiritual narcissist?
I'm not sure. Same thing as a narcissist in 3D, but just I don't.
No.
You're fine. How the hell? Look, I sound like a mother. You're fine. You're not. You're fine. We would have read it in your words.
Yeah.
How the hell do I love myself? I can't read.
How the hell do I love myself?
Read.
That's kind of where I am. I know I need to. I thought I had been, but what is reflected back to me is for show, not lovely.
Yeah.
Like I feel ignored, put on the back burner. So I believe that tells me that's what I'm doing to myself. Is that accurate? The only way you know you love yourself is not to put yourself on the back burner. Or to even be able to be aware that you've been put on the back burner, because you're giving yourself what you're expecting everybody else outside of you to give you. I mean, they can't really give you that if you keep putting them first. Now, this is where it becomes tricky, because when we talk about putting somebody first, we're not paying attention to what we're really doing. If you have to stop your feelings from coming out, if you have to shove your emotions down, if you have to put aside what you feel on the inside for somebody else, they didn't ask you to do that. You did that to you. And you got to understand that as you look at this, you got to get to the truth. Did you reject yourself? Did you abandon yourself? So if you can admit to doing those things to yourself, you'll find that there's a button there called stop doing that. And then you'll start showing up loving yourself, which gives everybody else permission to love you too.
What happened to the baby that you got from your ex-husband? Well, he's 9. He'll be 10 in July.
Mm-hmm. He's got his own channel.
He's got his own YouTube channel, Nerf Cam. He is Cameron, and he plays hockey, and we have shared parenting. And he's with us during the weekend. He goes to his dad's every other weekend, and he spends a lot of time with his dad. And his dad lives with his brother, they're roommates, and Ron just had a breakup with his girlfriend, and what was it, about 2 years he had a girlfriend, but now Ron's single, ladies. So, yeah, Cameron's thriving and he's doing wonderful, and he'll be 10. He'll be 10 this year. Yeah, he was a little bit of a bear this morning, and he had hockey practice last night, so he's up late. So Friday mornings haven't been going real well. And
I love that kid.
Yeah, he's something else. Yeah. He gave me a little bit of a hard time this morning. But then I feel bad because he did say his stomach hurt, and I didn't believe him.
That's what hockey moms do. Just
get up.
You're aware.
Pick your teeth back up and get in the game. Yeah. So yeah. I really do think that he had a little bit of a stomach issue this morning. And maybe I should have listened.
that energy limitation makes a lot of sense. Love seeing you guys have to go into work, but we'll watch later. Wishing you all fabulous Friday, peace and love. Oh, that's so sweet. Let's see. I had also dreams for a year or so, very intense in terms of contacting my twin's higher self, and then I barely dreams right now. Any explanation? When you dream of their inner self, I try to really be careful of saying higher self, because sometimes when you say it, or when we say it, I know that for me, the experience was when I was saying my higher self and I have low self-esteem, I never was able to reach higher. So I realized that I needed to change the direction to make it inner. Then I was able to actually get to the truth of what I think we all call higher, because there's depth. You can't get higher to get depth. You have to go in. I hope that made sense too. What ended up happening when I did this is I stopped dreaming, but I didn't stop feeling. So it was more like an experience of where I couldn't have an internal thought process about being connected to her. And there was this peace that was in it. I think we all find that when we go inside. It's like going to the bottom of the ocean. You're either going to be in that depth or you're not, or you want to be at the top where the waves are crashing. A lot of us in this connection are trying to decide which one we want to stay in, whether we want to stay on the crashing waves or whether we want to go to the depth of what the bottom of the ocean will bring, which will be the peace. And it's really hard to do that if the other person doesn't have a path to find that in you.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I'm sounding funny today.
I really want to, Dominic made a really neat, I feel, interesting suggestion, but then it come to find out that she doesn't smoke. But he asked if you smoke cannabis, because taking a break from it for a bit can help the dreams come back. I'm curious as to what everybody's opinions are on, does the cannabis make the dream state more vivid, or does the cannabis kill the dream state or dull the dream state? I'm curious about that. And I can give you my own opinion later, but I'm curious about what the general consensus is on that.
Hello. Just pop this out.
Let's see where we at.
Let's see. It's not stuffing feelings down. I'm pretty clear with that, but definitely putting twin first. So when you put your twin first, did you tell them that that's what you were going to do?
Right.
Because sometimes I'm going to go ahead and put them before me. And then we start to get a little bit aggravated. And we start to get really irritated. Then we start to go, oh, it's all their fault. But yet you never had a conversation that says, hey, I'm going to put you first. Because that would be telling the truth. And if you didn't tell them you're going to put them first, and if they looked at you and said, yeah, put me first, then you would have every right to feel like you should abandon loving yourself. But if you didn't have the conversation, you abandon you anyway.
It's very interesting how we, I don't want to be sexist about it, but I women, and of course single fathers do and things, but women tend to put everybody first before themselves, me included, where I will make sure everybody's taken care of before I can sit down and just chill out and relax. I'll make sure everybody's taken care of. And it's amazing how everybody adjusts to that and just assumes that it's all going to be taken care of, because I'm not going to be sitting down unless it is. I had an interesting conversation with my teenage daughter this morning, who said, what are you guys doing tonight? And I said, nothing. And she said, what do you mean nothing? I said, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm not going to spend hours cleaning the house. If I want to throw a dish in the dishwasher, I will. If I want to throw a load of laundry in, I will. If I want to sweep the floor, I will. And I'll go sit back down. I'm not going to plan to do anything. Whatever happens is what's going to happen. I may sleep. I may be awake. I may have a beer. I may not. I'm going to do what the hell I want. She said, well, okay. Right? Right? But every other day, what are you going to do today? Well, I'm going to make sure I'm going to make sure you have your doctor's appointment, Cameron's clothes are laid out, everybody's laundry's done, and I know what we're having for dinner these days and these days and these days. And she's like, oh, okay. But today it was like, oh, well, okay. Because I said I didn't know. Whatever the hell I want to do.
Did I tell you what I wanted to do tonight?
You did not.
I looked at you last night and said, I want to kiss you on the couch all night.
Oh yeah, you did do that. Yeah, we can do that. That's fine. That's good.
See how she puts herself first and just abandons the connection? Gee, I wonder if that happens to any of y'all.
But I like to do that. But I might throw a little laundry in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Or have a beer. Or a wine. I don't know.
Okay, so the putting first, have a conversation. And it doesn't have to come from a defensive or offensive space. It needs to come from a space of compassion. And it would sound like, hey, I love you, and I want you to know that I want to make sure that you're okay before I'm okay. And are you going to be okay if I do that? If you notice, it has to be a question. Because if you say, I put you first, and da-da-da-da-da, and they've never had the conversation that they've said to you, yeah, put me first,
Right.
You will become defensive or offensive, and it turns into a big mess.
Right.
Try to avoid the mess by having a conversation that makes sense, because it comes from what you want, what in your heart makes your heart full, and not always putting them first is going to make your heart full, and they aren't aware of that. After you became aware of your twin, are you really destined to be together?
I don't know if we can answer. I really do feel that. Oh, I hate using the term twin, but that's fine. We're going to use it for purposes so we can identify. But you know, I do believe if you meet the one that you're destined to be together. Clearly, we were destined to be together, because there was many instances that either one of us could have turned around and walked away and been like, "Screw this shit."
Yeah, but I know that our biggest struggle or reaching destiny was all the fate of being connected to our disconnects.
Right.
And I could feel her through my disconnects, but I was still connected to very heavy in my disconnects. So all of my disconnects didn't show up as nobody loves me, I'm not good enough, I'm not. And as long as I was connected to those more than I was connected to me, destiny was like on the outer ring. It was never allowed to enter my being. And until you actually can come into that within yourself, there's not really a path for them to choose you. And that's why this connection seems to be that, you know, we hear things, everything from a twin wouldn't hurt you, a twin wouldn't do this to you, a twin wouldn't do that to you. No, you'll do that to you. So it's almost like you got to make sure that you are understanding that this connection brings out of you how you're disconnected in yourself and how you're connected to your disconnect, and how you're connected to yourself and connected to that within you. So the destiny kind of circles that until you realize that all of the fate that has happened to you, because they're not the same thing. Fate and destiny are the same thing. Fate is a thought process that says you won't have your destiny or will have your destiny, but you're not getting it right now. Destiny just is. It doesn't have a thought pattern to it. So hopefully that answered your question. We suffered in our disconnects for quite a bit because of what we experienced from those we were born into. So it makes the connection so hard to navigate, because everybody has their individual story. And when this connection finds you, you have to choose whether it needs to match that story or something new. But you can only go with what you've seen. So it's almost like you keep repeating it until you start figuring that out.
Boy, Johnny Goodwin, you've got a good one. My twin is it's blurry.
My twin is my girlfriend's daughter. She is over age. I have feelings for her and deja vu. I have feelings for my girlfriend and can't leave. Help me. My TF does not talk to me much. Why would this happen?
I feel like a liar and don't know what to do. Well, I think there's going to have to be a little bit more to this. How long have you been? There's some questions, so follow me here, Johnny. How long have you been with your girlfriend? Have you had any sexual relations or any type of conversation with your girlfriend's daughter? Is the feeling mutual? have you talked to anybody else about this? And okay, six years. Okay, never had any kind of relationship or anything with the daughter. So does the daughter know that you feel this way towards her? Let's see if we can get an answer. I never talked to her. I told my girlfriend she might be my twin flame. You told the girlfriend that, or you told your girlfriend that the daughter might be. And what's the difference in how you feel about your girlfriend and how you feel about her daughter? Okay, she does not know. So I'm wondering what the difference is there on what the mom you told. Okay.
Underneath this, I believe there's going to be, Johnny, your experience with how you related growing up. And you have this, there's a frequency and vibration that shows up in this person that you're going to feel this very powerful energy towards. And sometimes what happens is the thought patterns of what you've experienced with being either close or not close to someone you're connected from, you start to kind of mimic those behaviors. So let's say, for example, your mom and your sister, I'm just giving a hypothetical here so you can hear something that maybe you should look at. You have the mom that you may not have had a very emotional, a very strong communication standpoint with, and she probably never really knew what you really felt inside. And then you had a sister who you were very close to who was able to understand exactly everything. It was almost like you could understand each other and not be able to approach it from the same space. There's a thought pattern of belief that lands that ends up showing up, and I believe that Maureen asked the question, so I can kind of steer towards that as well, of if I'm connected to this person, are they going to show up like that connection? And you start to think that way. So what ends up happening is you get distortion in the connection, but the distortion makes sense to you because that's what happened to you from those you're connected from, based on who you're connected to. If somebody gives you the power of suggestion that this person isn't the person you're connected to, if somebody tells you that this person is who you're connected to, but you're never going to be together in this life and so on and so forth, that's somebody planting the seed of thought in a space that they have no idea what the backstory is, which can cause you a lot of hurt and pain if you believe them over yourself. This is why we're here. We wanted to make sure that you understand that this connection is going to show up in a way in your life where it's going to make you question your entire story. And if somebody gives you by power of suggestion or by channeling or something else, and they don't know the backstory, they don't know the backstory, it becomes very dangerous and very volatile because you want to believe that they have what you need. And that's outside information, but not matching with inside story.
Right.
And so you try to insert that someplace and you try to make it them, but you end up suffering. So why are you suffering has a lot to do with what they didn't know about you on the inside, because they didn't ask you what you felt. They asked you what you thought. They're not the same space. Feeling knows vibration and frequency. Thinking tries to. It doesn't know what feeling is. So you have to know that thinking versus feeling are two different things. And I think when somebody tries to insert that in you, you try to make it make sense with everything, and you can't. I believe what Johnny needs to do is not approach this from you're my TF, but approach this from, hey, I'd like to get to know you, so that way they can have a dialogue. Because you can feel a connection and you won't know what the connection is, and somehow you trap yourself in the space of being connected to somebody and loving them and them never knowing. And this came from something you learned early on. And once you actually hear what they think and what they feel and what their life has been like, it can start making sense. So you can start understanding what the actual connection represents to you. And it comes in, I think it comes in varying degrees of connection, because we've had, well, you guys need to tell us how you feel about, can you have multiple twin flames? Well, there's so many backstories that have found their way into a belief system, but nobody can tell you this but you.
Right.
On the inside of you, you know to your core. But if you've got a story that outlines that, saying you could have your mom substituted this person and that person and this person and that person with the original person that you were born from, it can be a very confusing experience. Or if you know how to replace somebody because of things that you kept experiencing growing up. You know, I've got a half sister. That half sister is still a connection to me. And now I'm going to have a belief system that I could have a half twin flame. I mean, it's almost like we're trying to take all of these human experiences and trying to initially move them in to a spiritual connection. And I don't know that that's right. I mean, not right or wrong, but if on the inside of me, I'm trying to convince myself this, I need to go in and find out what else I'm telling myself too, to make it make sense.
Right.
So sometimes it's just a matter of listening to all of it. I mean, does it
Makes sense.
yeah. I hope I'm saying it in a place that makes sense.
I want to talk a little bit about her question up there too. What are and really keep in mind that this is our thoughts and our opinions only. As if you've watched a lot of our videos, you'll know that we try to stay away from a lot of the mystical stuff. Clearly, I've got some crystals, I got some rocks. Whatever.
The running water.
Yeah, whatever whatever our belief systems are, we never push on anybody else, but we were asked. So let's touch that for a second. You know, I have no problem with people who are gifted. And I do believe that people have gifts. I have gifts. I totally believe in that. However, there are, when it comes to this dynamic, especially, there are a lot of people out there who you're going to get who is passing around false information or confusing information. You know, where we come from is what we've been through and how we've got through it. And it was trial and error. I cannot pull a card from a deck. I did. Thank you.
However, instead of that.
I do. I do it all the time. I do have I have an energy deck that I pull from on occasion. I don't put all my eggs in one basket. I just don't. I feel there's a lot of people out there who will run straight to a reading of some sort just to get some type of validation. And everybody wants somebody to tell them if this is their TF or not. And there's no way anybody can know that, in my opinion. Nobody can feel what you're feeling except for you. So somebody saying, nope, that's not your twin, or yes, that is your twin, is straight bullshit. And that's my opinion, and that's how it is. Nobody can tell you that. And if you're being told that, you're being scammed, in my opinion. You'll never find us telling anybody.
And I guess,
that
can I ask you,
there.
maybe this is a question that people would probably want to ask you then. So do you believe that getting information outside you that you accept can block this connection?
Yes. Yes.
That's simple. That's simple. That's really simple.
Yeah.
And when that's blocking you, and let's say that this comes from a couple that they're out there saying, hey, you know, we're connected, and you know, here's your reading, and here's what you need to do, and their story's so different than what your backstory is, but you will accept this from them. That's why we don't come out and tell you, hey, you know, this person, you know, we're going to tell you, you guys are all going to be together at this point or that point, because the connection is not existent in time. The connection's outside of it. So if we're going to tell you something, we're not going to tell you something that keeps you from choosing you. We're not going to tell you something that tells you who somebody is to you. We just don't have that, because we can't fall in love with you the way you do. So until we actually can experience that, we can't tell you what the actual issues are that you're going to run into or what actually could happen to you. So somebody can read you a card, or they can send you a tape that tries to tell you what's going to happen or who somebody is to you. And it's we've seen where we've got to go in and go, hey, they didn't know what you were telling yourself on the inside that's causing this. So let's listen to what we really say, because this connection is a two-way street. And if you get told something, you'll create a roadblock on that street on your end that the other person doesn't know. And we've seen where people have taken that roadblock down. You're not going to believe who called us. Of course,
Yes,
we actually kind of do, because when somebody really listens to you deep on the inside,
Mhm.
they can really understand why maybe this person may feel blocked to reach out to you. And it's energetic.
Yeah.
You can take a thought and insert it inside yourself from the outside, and it blocks your energy in this connection.
Mhm.
And until you learn that you learned how to do that, you'll never see the switch. You'll never understand the switch of what you actually learned, because the switch was created.
I feel like too, it's a lot of the same concept. Is you're asking these people if this person is their twin flame or not, but the same person can't give you the winning lottery numbers.
Yeah, if they can give you that and then you win, go back to them. They have all the answers.
And believe me, I'm not. I'm very empathic and have medium abilities, but just be very, 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 very careful.
It's okay to get. I believe it's okay to reach out and talk to those people. I believe also that there's also, as long as you just take it that, okay, they may have something I need, but not something I want.
Right.
If you're going into it from that way, make sure that you really look at need from 360 degrees. So they can give you an option maybe you didn't see, but if they're giving you the same option you already had, or if they're validating what you're telling yourself on the inside about not being with them, if this person isn't,
Right.
then that came from the outside. There's still going to be conflict within you because you didn't come up to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You didn't come to your conclusion, or you didn't come to your truth. You had some input. And when you get input to the truth, it's not really the truth now, is it? Especially if it's yours.
Oh, here.
I've never asked this before. My twin and I when I met, we made love that night. And during, he asked, "What are you doing to me?" And the next day he jokingly said that I raped him. It surprised me.
Happened to me. It did.
With who?
With you. My other twin flame. What the hell are you talking about? But you do it all the time. This whole she took advantage of my body bullshit.
Were you speaking for me that time? So
That,
what?
ladies and
I'm
gentlemen,
not sure
is
what's
me.
being asked. I've never heard this asked before. When my
Okay.
twin and I met. Okay, so what are you doing to me? So I guess if you're asking what they meant by that, is on the inside when you actually touch, when you're in the senses and you come together in this connection, it's almost like you know exactly where to touch that person, or maybe you don't. Maybe you know how you want to be touched. And it's almost like you're touching yourself, but the other person is experiencing it. And they never. Creation energy of making love is now in creation effect. It doesn't have any thought pattern to it. So it feels creative. It feels as though you've followed their path of creation in the way that they know they can be touched. And the other person feels like, oh, this person had a voodoo doll before they met me, or that person's a witch. We've been through it all. But what we started to realize is that when you're in this connection, when we touch each other, we're in the senses. We're not in our heads anymore. And the senses know, I smell you, I taste you, I touch you, I hear you, I feel you. That the radiance and that energy is so amplified. And then when you try to come back into thought, you're like, what the hell is that? Because your mind wants to have some way of explaining what it is. And you want to blame the other person for what you can't explain what it is. And there's really no blame or attack about it. You just were like, what the hell? I never knew that this part was supposed to be this way. We've been so used to porn. We're so used to standard sex, and we're so used to being, with somebody that we actually in a relationship with. We forgot how to realize that we are actually energy and motion that can connect.
Yeah.
And in that way, it's a beautiful experience. Which one is?
Yeah.
My TF hasn't spoke to me for months and won't respond when I reach out. So I focused on me. So is divine timing at play, bringing us still together no matter what we both do, meaning it's fate to union.
If you're continuing to focus on you, and that's what you're honestly really doing, focusing on you, allow the universe to work as it's supposed to. Don't try to force things like I did. Don't pull a Sherry. Just go. Be with the flow.
Okay, so I'm confused, and maybe I should just ask this as a question. Does the divine know what time is? And I guess I asked that question because I know what it is for me to figure out what it means to be human. It means to be stuck in psychological time, which is time relative to thought, past, future, not present. Clock time, being present is really quite interesting because when you're in this moment, you don't have any need to worry about being outside of it. But as soon as your thought process shows up, you get back in it. So if you're divine, it seems like I have more peace when I'm in the moment than when I'm not. When I'm in my head going, God, this week's going to end and we've got this and this and this. And then I'm constantly in the state of duress. I'm never going to be comfortable. So if I'm divine, wouldn't I be in peace?
Yeah.
Which is going to not have anything relative to time.
Right.
So divine timing sounds like a conflict in itself.
Right.
Wouldn't it be? Because you can't be worried about time if you're in peace.
Right. Well, right. But I do feel that the universe things will unfold as they're supposed to. Without saying divine timing, as they're supposed to.
Does the universe ever unfold?
Well, Jesus.
It's just a question.
Don't.
No. I thought it was just a simple question. I'm sorry.
There's nothing worse than him answering a question with a question.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to do this, let's do it. Okay. I mean, yeah, it does.
So how do I unfold my universe?
I mean, just like you unfold your clothes.
I love you. You always got great answers. Make sure you write that down someplace.
Right.
And remember, Sherry from Relationship Reinvented said it. That was beautiful. No, you don't even understand how powerful what you just said was to you.
My point is, we mirror each other.
See what I mean? She never takes credit for anything.
From our chart to our home. The lifestyle is creepy and scary how much we resemble each other. But F him, I'm not going to tell him he's my twin.
Oh.
He probably already knows.
Oh.
I myself feel you two are the only TFs that answer each person and can really resonate with that soul. That's why I love you. It's personal. It's deep. It's not general info like it's from the book of TFs. Oh, I wish it felt like that.
Maybe we should write a book.
No, Sherry, I just wanted to say I love you both. I love you for all you. Thank you, and we love you too. We really do.
Yeah.
When is the next webinar? Yeah, after
the chakra one.
Oh no, not the chakra one. That's a class. Yeah, we need to schedule some webinars. How about giving us some ideas on what you'd like to have some webinars on?
I'm exactly like you, Sherry. In fact, we've connected in my dreams. So for me, I'm so connected to both. Can't explain why. It's like I'm a sister soul to you both. I love you. It's so cool. Oh,
we love you too.
One more question. Is it possible that our karmics subconsciously know we have a TF? Did Ron sense it or who Lee was with now looking back now you had a did he know you had a TF?
Ron knew we had a different type of connection. We of course didn't label it because we didn't even know the label then. But he definitely knew. Ron was the one that said, "Why aren't you with Lee?" He definitely knew that there was
Um,
a more spiritual connection,
and
considering there was no connection.
I know around that time when he asked that, every time I thought about Sherry, I couldn't stop smiling. I still have moments of that, and because we're together, we're never apart. So being in this connection and having that, we get it, you guys. We so get it. We still have the human things that we go through, and then we have the spiritual connection behind it as the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't know how to put the spiritual connection as a foundation during that time, but we could feel it, and we were kind of creating it then. And I think Ron just got a glimpse of that when we would interact. He could see this little light. I mean, she might have been on computer talking to me, and I might have been, or we'd be on the phone, and there was just like this energy level that was there.
Right.
And that energy level, that foundation, I think it's really easy to lose sight of that foundation because of the human condition, because of human thinking, because of your life situations, but not your life. I really felt, and I still feel that spiritual foundation has expanded or unfolded our universe. See how it came back there?
I see
like
what
clouds.
you did there.
God, that was so good. When you said that, I was like, oh, I don't know. You always make universe see so beautiful. You made my universe so much better. You really do.
But you don't ever unfold your clothes.
Here we go.
All right.
Welcome to Human.
Yeah.
Let's see. Thanks for explaining that. I get it. You're saying be at peace. Let our inner guidance do its job. If you notice that deep down, like I said, you don't want to stay on the top part of the ocean where all the waves are crashing. You always want to go deep where the peace is, because down at the bottom of the ocean, there's peace. What makes you think you don't have that in this experience, in this being, in your human body? You actually have the ability to go deep, to be at your inner peace. It's never been higher, because most people don't have a ladder to reach it. Sorry. One more. Did we answer the karmic subconscious? Okay. So yeah, you answered that. Let's see.
I think
I follow your advice about my self-sabotage, and since I focused on myself and felt detached, I keep running into it. So when you're not sabotaging yourself, you should be glowing, and you're going to keep running into them so they can see you're glowing. Are you glowing because I'm not in your life, or because I'm in your life? Maybe you should answer that.
Book of Twin Flames. Can we ask sexual questions here? Certainly. And yeah, we'll take one. We've got an 11:15 we've got to get to. But yeah, throw your sexual questions out there. Checking his social media again after months of being free in my own peace. I also have trouble believing we will ever communicate in peace in this lifetime. I feel stuck, yet my life is bad. Get off of social media.
Yeah, because if you believe that life is online, then you're offline.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah. You really helped me understand that, because that's literally, it seemed to be that you can be so focused on everything that they're doing that they consume all of what you could be giving yourself, and they didn't ask you to do that. They're not telling you to do that. You're doing that to you. And that is a form of abandonment of self. It's not even something they're even they get to be a part of. However, they're the end result of you doing the abandonment, not being in their social media with them, not being in their presence with them, not being in the offline life with them. Has a lot to do with how you've taken yourself offline of life and stayed online with social media. I know social media. I think social media is a beautiful thing. I believe it is an entirely different universe that we get to explore. But I believe that universe in there has its lies and its truths. And some of the lies that we can find won't point you to your truth.
Every time I thought about Sherry, I smiled. Well, oh, thank you.
No, that was me. I said that. See, you're going to give credit to Miss Greer there, and I was the one that said it. They were just repeating what I said.
I heard that.
Oh, what did you hear? What did you hear? Yes, see, we were together nonstop, but yes. Yes, we both
That's
have
very
that.
sweet.
We both have that listening thing. I can say something very
You're a
sweet,
slow learner.
and then you can say, "Did
Love
you
you
get the
guys
close?"
so much. Love you guys. That's very sweet.
Oh, you're just gonna, yeah, you ran it right on. Hi guys, it's Karen.
Hi, Karen. She's one of our coaches. She's awesome.
I was wondering if you could talk about opening up to each other about your skeletons in the closet and all the spooky stuff you kept hidden within.
Oh man.
Um,
Oh man.
Sherry's a straight ass freak. Oh, just kidding. Sorry, didn't mean to put your business out there.
I mean, are you done? I'm
No,
sitting
oh
right
shit! I keep
here.
forgetting you could see me.
I don't think she's talking about that.
Oh,
I think maybe she's
Oh, I
talking
thought you meant
about
like,
you
you
know
know.
all the lies and deception and bullshit that we
oh,
had
the
to-
stuff we don't tell that
we don't
we
tell.
actually
Yeah,
did.
we didn't tell each other that
Um,
we actually did tell each other.
You gotta. It's like here's the best way to practice this: sit in front of the mirror and say out loud all of your skeletons to yourself, and then make sure you do the same damn thing when you're in front.
Right.
Don't omit nothing. Let it all out. Because if you can sit in front of the mirror and start listening what you tell yourself is a skeleton in your closet, get to the skeleton root. Get to what on the inside of you say or did or felt or what the actual experience was the very first time you can remember feeling that way. Get to that space. That's root camp, by the way. Anyway, if you can't get there, we can take you.
It's 11:11.
Oh,
And
yes,
we
we-
have an 11:15, and we have to go. So if you have questions outside or
thank you
under
guys for
this,
spending time
we
with
will
us today.
we'll continue to answer. We'll try to answer them in the chat. And hopefully it's there. Sometimes it's there. Sometimes not. We don't know.
We love you guys.
We do love you guys. Hey, look, we're still doing root camps personally. If you want to get into root camp,
We're
root
gonna
camps,
be traveling
we're
more.
going to be
We're
traveling.
gonna get
more.
away from doing those and do more
Personally, yeah.
We're gonna train more coaches.
We're gonna
because
hand the root
everybody
camp
needs help.
over to our coaches, but we're working a lot more with the certification program. So if you're interested in becoming a certified coach, life coach, there's lots of things under that. Life coach.
Would you say that the coaching certification actually helps you see deeper to the connection to
Yeah,
yourself,
for sure.
to understand
sure.
what you're doing and how you coach yourself into certain ways of thinking?
Right. We have a our root camp is included in the coaching certification. Under life coaching, though, we have career coaches, business coaches, financial coaches. We have relationship coaches, marriage coaches, premarital,
Divorce coaches.
We have
Co-parenting coaches.
co-parenting coaches, all kinds of coaches. Anything that you want to do, we can get you certified. And and root camp is included. It's a very deep program. It's different. It's like no other certification program out there as we talk about pain and abandonment and fear. And
We show you how you actually coach yourself to run from your own pain. Then we tell you what your pain really is. Sherry, how many years past the first meeting that you said we? Oh, did you know that in 2005
what?
that you had a deep connection to me, but we didn't know what twin flames were?
Yeah, we didn't know what they were. I knew something was different in 2005, but I also felt you were shady too. So I didn't want a part of that.
Damn skeletons.
We do love you guys.
Yes,
If you're interested in the certification program or just root camp,
we got classes starting now. so-
we'll take you through it personally, or any one of our coaches can do that as well. Let's do it. Let's start working on your
Let's
inner
go.
healing. Yeah,
You want to fix connection?
yeah.
Fix the connection you have to you. Until next time, we love you guys.
Bye.